Hi, this is my FMP proposal PowerPoint. So this is the first slide. Um, yeah, the idea visually is I'm trying to capture this idea of like childhood nostalgia, which will become apparent why after I explain my concept. So for my final major project, I'll be using the opposing words life and death. I plan to create a moving image sequence of a mix of media forms displaying and telling a story representing a life and death. I've decided on a movie sequence around 3 minutes or less because it's an animation as my form of media for this project. I feel like this length of time will give enough, space for my story that I want to be telling and presenting over. Yeah. So I wanted, using my word pair of life and death, I wanted to capture like a story and a theme that just like envelops the idea of life really well. And I think nature is obviously a really good example of life and death, and it contains so many individual life cycles that are so like integral to the bigger picture. So I was focusing on animal life cycles, and I thought I would write about a butterfly based on a story that I somewhat experienced myself with a bit more, context and ideas, because obviously I couldn't see the other perspective being the butterfly's perspective. So, yeah, I will get into this story a bit more in a bit. I will also be creating a QR code. Oh yeah, basically, my actual video will be a sequence of stickers, which I put up on loads of different walls and backgrounds across the city and make sure they are like varying in like visual style. Some will be graffiti walls, some will be like steel metal walls or like brick. I want loads of different backgrounds, a really big range of them. And I'll be on each of these stickers I'll be drawing an illustration, and when I show each picture of the sticker in succession, it will show my story in sort of animation, kind of like stop motion or like frame by frame animation, which is my main focus for like inspiration in the media form. Yeah, and then additionally I'll be creating a QR code and putting this next to the sticker at each location that I put my sticker, which will be scanned, and when it's scanned it will take the viewer to a website explaining the meaning behind these stickers and a bit about who I am and the project itself. I thought this would give me an opportunity to work on multiple levels of mediums and like give some variety and dynamic to the story and not just have it, a 2D animation. Yeah, so in short, I am aiming to make a moving image illustration animation style short film telling the story of a butterfly and its life cycle / eventual death. I will also be incorporating a mixed media drawn animation to my film to add some more dimensions and textures visually within the story. So I'm aiming for the second half of the film to involve the mixed media sequence to feel sort of nostalgic, because again my theme is life and death, and I think a big part of that is your childhood and your personality, and I think a lot of that is made in your childhood. So I'm also trying to capture this message of like the innocence of life and how death is inevitable, so why not be curious about the world because it's strange. Yeah, so I have to kind of give my character, which is a butterfly, some sort of personality for it to be enjoyable by the audience and understandable and relatable and whatever. So I'm trying to capture this idea that the butterfly is very curious, which has gotten it into these dangerous situations, which I will later explain. And again, that childhood innocence and curiosity is really like my main focus visually and through my message in this story. Yeah, I'm just really trying to capture that sense of character and personality for something that isn't human, because I can't really use like facial expressions, so I have to use, like actions and behavior physically. So yeah. So for my development process, as I said, I'm going to put loads of stickers up in multiple locations. The main duration of the story will be on these stickers, but for the second half, the animation will leave the bounds of like the frame of a sticker, and I will film like movement out of the sticker, if that makes sense, and I'll print out that and draw on frame by frame the butterfly leaving the sticker and out into the actual real world, like our human world. Yeah, so that bit is the bit which will be very mixed media-esque, and we'll have lots of different, like tools. As I said, like later on there's lots of pencils, and I'll be putting stickers on top of it and like that kind of thing to capture that childhood nostalgia vibe. Yeah, so that's what I said here. I will be using photos. I have also, I've gone out during my research and I've taken some photos of animals and them doing some specific movements, because I'm trying to study and understand animal movements in a way that will guide me in drawing them like accurately and realistically. So I'll be using those photos as references. So my equipment I'll be using is camera, my Wacom board and pen, because I might use rotoscoping for my illustration processes, or I might just draw it straight onto the sticker, but I'm not too sure yet because we tried out rotoscoping and I really enjoyed it personally. I need my blank stickers for the drawing, pens and pencils, printer for printing out the frames of which I'm going to draw on for the second half. I also need practice stickers for my test runs, so I can estimate roughly how many stickers I'll be needing and, like locations I'll be using and such. Yeah. So for me, this message is significant and meaningful, and I think it's very fruitful for content. Yeah, I haven't done a project like this before, but I've had, I've done similar bits and pieces. I've done graffiti style art and I've done photography, so I'm kind of merging a lot of things I've previously done together and trying something new. So I hope I will be good at some bits and learning new things well at other bits. Yeah, I want to try and test multiple methods and see, which give me the best product in my animation. I'm going to try frame by frame illustration, rotoscoping, stop motion animation, illustration. Yeah, I also want to learn about as many possible mediums as I can to include in my mixed media section. Yeah. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm trying to get out of this project. I want to, I don't know, I want to try out lots of different things and see where it gets me. I have like faith in this project working out, but I feel like no matter what the product is, I'll be proud of myself during the production process because it's quite a lot and it's very new to me. So this is my mood board. I've got the kind of backdrops I'll be using on the left top, like graffitied walls and stuff. I really want the backgrounds behind the stickers to be quite visually capturing. I want there to be a lot on the screen all at once. You can either watch the background changing or you can watch the sticker animation. I like that idea of, giving the audience an option of what they're experiencing and watching and looking at. And then I have some, like the bottom middle is a zoopraxiscope, which is like an old form of animation that mainly focuses on animal movement, which I thought was very relevant to what I'm doing. Same with the cat grid at the top, each movement is studied and that's what I'll be doing. I've got the butterfly inspiration in the middle and also like a picture of some shoes on a kid, and I think it's basically I'm trying to capture that idea again of that childhood innocence and like really keep that as the main theme. Yeah, we got stickers on this pole here, which is kind of what my art will be like, just one of them. Yeah, and on the left, far left on the writing, I've got some influences and tutorials that I've used so far. So that is it for my proposal. It's also up on my blog here, and it's partially in my production diary. But yeah, this is my final major project proposal. Thank you for listening.